welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a video showing you how I send out my cake toppers in the post to make sure that they don't get damaged and that they arrive in one piece. I've got quite a lot of cake toppers here today that I have just made, and I've got to package them all up to be shipped out. They're all going to be going raw mail. Here they all are. As you can see, there's loads of them today, and I've got some numbers in here. There's loads of neons today, some more numbers, lots and lots and lots. So I'm going to get all those packaged up and I'm going to show you how I do that process right now. So let's jump straight in. So there are a couple of different ways that I actually post out my cake toppers, and I've got everything here that I need to show you how I do it for the most part. When I get an Etsy order, the first thing that I do is print off my paperwork. So what I've started doing is printing off my dispatch note and my record for myself onto one sheet of paper, and you do that just by going onto your printer settings and just selecting to print 2 copies on one page, and this is basically saving me half the amount of paper that I was using before. And then on here I've actually got my address label that I've printed out using my Munbin label printer that I use all the time, and then I just pop that onto there with a little paper clip and keep that to one side while I make the cake topper. I do like to put a little personal message onto my dispatch note just to say thank you so much for your order, and I hope that the birthday boy or girl has an amazing birthday. People really like it if you put a personal message to them. It makes them feel really special, and I love writing a little note to my customers as well. So I'll put this to one side for now. Then I'm going to show you the envelopes that I use for my packaging. So there are 3 main envelopes that I use for my packaging, and it depends on the size of the cake topper as to which one I will actually use to dispatch. So these are my favourite, these little C5 little board backed envelopes. They've got do not bend on them, they're board backed, they are peel and stick, so you don't have to worry about licking them or anything like that to do with hygiene, so that's great. I love those. Then I've got the bigger version of that. Now this one is a C4, so this is pretty big, and this is the one that gets used if I'm using a cake topper with a longer stick, and that will happen if the name on the cake topper is something like Tom, or I think I did a Zach that was the same and it needed the cake topper stick to be quite long. Then the last one that I use is when I am out of those 2. If I've run out completely, I just use a regular envelope, but this is a heavy duty one, so it's pretty thick and quite sturdy, and I'm going to show you exactly how I utilize these ones as well. And for this one you're going to need some old cardboard boxes, cereal packets, something like that, just to reinforce this envelope to make sure that your cake topper doesn't get broken when it's being sent. So I'm going to pop that one up there for now. I've got these 2 cake toppers that I'm going to ship out today, so let's start off by checking the sizes against this. Now I know one of them is going to have to go into a bigger envelope, so what I do first of all is I just double check that there's no glue strings left on my cake toppers. I hate glue strings, but they are inevitable, and sometimes you get them when you pop the stick on. So I can see straight away that that one for Finn is going to fit straight into a regular C5. This one isn't, it's got a longer stick on it because of the layout of the actual cake topper. So this one isn't going to fit into one of my C5s, it's going to have to go into a C4. So that one is going to go in there, but that's going to fit into that perfectly well. So let's pop that other C5 out of the way. Now let's start off with Finn. So Finn has got on the order a Finn cake topper in the blue and green, and then we've got a number 5 as well. So I've got these sheets of, this is just regular cheap cardstock that I just use. It doesn't cut very well on the Cricut, so I just use it in my office for sending out. So what I do is fold that piece of card in half. Then what I like to do is just grab a pen and I write on it the name of the child, and it is Finn blue, and then a 5 also blue. I write that on, and then I like to write on the date of the order. So it was ordered on the 16th of Jan, and then it's dispatched by the 19th, and I like to write it on just for my own record when I'm posting everything out, just to make sure that I keep everything pretty efficient. So then I'm going to open up this, and I pop that in there. And I've got my washi tapes all in my little dispenser, so I'll just grab a small piece of my washi tape and I'm just going to tape that down inside. Then I'm going to pick up my number 5 and I'm going to tape that down as well in the same sort of fashion, just inside that card. There we go. So that is looking good. So that's Finn and a number 5. Close that up. One last little bit of that tape onto there. So that just adds a little bit more sort of reinforcement to the envelope. If you wanted to, you could put a thin piece of card or something in there if you've got the space to do so and the weight allows for it. This goes as a large letter because it is it's a little bit thicker than what a normal letter would go as. Then all I do is just cut my paperwork in half. And I'll just pop that into the envelope as well. So that all goes into there like so. It's going to fit perfectly, as you can see. Then I'm going to just peel the back off that. I'm going to close that up. I've got my label here, and I'm going to keep the address covered so that you can't see where it's going to. I am going to pop that onto there. So that goes over to the left a little bit because I need room for my stamp. I've got my little labels that I make myself. If you want to see how to make these, there is a video on this on the channel. I can link that above and below for you. I just peel off one of my little stickers and I pop that over the seal on the back of the envelope like so. Then I use second class stamps for most of my posting, so I've got this one left on here. As I said, it's a second class large. Let's pop that onto there. Next I've got one of my cardboard boxes that I've gotten from the shop, and I just take off these sides like that. Just want to check the width on this, so it's just there, that'll be fine. So I'm just going to go a little bit past that original fold, leave a little bit on there. And this is just another little piece of board really to help keep everything nice and sturdy in there. Then I'll grab my cake topper and I'll just slide that into there like so, and then grab some more of my washi tape. Let's get a couple of pieces and I just put that on the side there. So that's nice and sturdy now, that's not going to go anywhere. I've still got some bits of balloon weight on there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get my envelope and I pop that whole thing into there along with the note and the paperwork that prints out from Etsy. Now I'll just peel off my little edge piece. Now I'm just going to fold that over and I just use some thick parcel tape, just the clear stuff, and I just pop that onto there like so. And then I do the same on this edge here. And that's just going to keep that nice and sturdy as well. You can see that isn't going to bend, it's really nice and strong. If you've got a big overlap on this side where your card ends, you can fold it over, and I do that sometimes. I'm going to do it with this one just to show you, but ordinarily with one like this I probably wouldn't bother. I just pop that onto there like so. There we go, perfection. The next thing that I do is grab some of my labels that I've made myself. So I've got a couple of do not bends, so I'll put one on the front there, and then I put one on the back there as well. And then I will get one of my Etsy shop name labels and I put that down in the corner. And then I'll just grab my postage label or my plain label and a stamp, and I'll pop that on. The last thing that I do before I get everything ready to go is just double check the weights on all of the parcels. They need to be under 100 grams, so I just need to check that they all are correct. It's rare that they go over. The only time they are very close is when I use a board backed envelope with an extra piece of board inside it, because these board backed envelopes, the big ones, weigh 57 grams on their own. So it can sometimes get a little bit close. Those are all absolutely fine, so they're all ready to be sent off to their new owners.